Hi, everybody. It is Monday, February 1st, 2016. This is Radio Tokyo. I'm Jonathan. Nick's here, and we are tired of the bullshit going on in the world, apparently, because today, you would think, well, January would be the end of the bullshit, but no, it's today, and that bullshit actually has a particular name, and I don't, okay, keep in mind, I'm not saying this to attack anybody. But that bullshit goes by the name of Fine Brothers. What do you think when I say when I say Fine Brothers, Nick? By the way, how are you? First off, how are you? We'll start off on a positive note. So how are you doing today, Nick?
I'm still fighting with the insurance companies. That's positive, right?
Fuck you, insurance companies.
Yeah, I'm okay. Also, I would like to proclaim this the year of bullshit.
It is 2016 is like whatever the hell a Chinese calendar is for this year. No, Chinese people, you're wrong. You are wrong. You're the bullshit.
It, yeah, the astrology calendars are wrong, the Chinese calendar's wrong, everything's wrong. This is now officially the year of bullshit.
Like it's kind of fucked up. We are like just barely over a month now into 2016, and let's see, what was yeah, we had the terrorist group in Oregon, which by the way, apparently only four of them are left. Like since our show on Friday and now, basically all of them have left because Lavoy Finicum was shot dead. And oh, over the weekend, people went fucking insane over this. They said that the government was actually stalking him and murdering him because if you watch the video, and again, the FBI has released the video of this. If you watch it, you see him dive out of his car and start running, and then he kind of puts his hands up, like I'm gonna stop. And then for some unexplained reason, he drops his hand and pulls his jacket open. Now, I don't know about you, but if I had a gun trained on somebody who I knew had been making armed, threats about shooting me, I would probably shoot first and ask questions later. I don't think that's just, me being from Texas and having this insane idea. No, I think I would probably shoot first and ask questions later. It's just not like, you know, no. Keep in mind, I say that the other instances, like last year and the past couple of years, where it's brought up where police shot first and then asked later, um, those can be kind of questionable, like Tamir Rice and it being a BB gun. Well, here's the thing. When a police officer sees something pointing at them and thinks it's a gun, their first reaction is self-defense. They have to, protect themselves. So I understand, that decision to shoot at him. I get that it's terrible. I am not condoning it. It's just terrible when things like that happen. But with him, sure, like it makes perfect sense to have shot Lavoy Finicum. Anyway, there was that bullshit, and then there was, um, oh gee, Carly Fiorina apparently kidnapping a bunch of kindergartners.
Wait, what? Did I miss that?
You didn't know that Carly Fiorina kidnapped kindergartners?
No. What?
Yeah. Okay. This is perfect because because today we're going to be playing Iowa Caucus Bingo. For those of you who don't anything about the caucuses, we'll explain it in the simplest terms possible. But what's been going on in Iowa? At least the past month for sure. Um, Iowa goes insane. Okay. Starting today is actually today is the Iowa caucuses. There's Democrat and Republican caucuses. Okay, and every presidential candidate, like every goddamn one of these people, goes to Iowa, and they all go to specific places. There is a pizza restaurant that it's called Pizza Ranch, I think. Uh, every candidate goes to Pizza Ranch because it's just some
Tradition.
superstitious belief. Okay, they all go to the exact same places repeatedly. All old people in Iowa are targets. All children are targets. Okay. He walks in, orders a cup of coffee, goes and sits down by two old men, and kind of pats one on the back, takes a sip of coffee, and he's out of there in less than 10 minutes. And that was the whole visit. All it was a publicity thing. To, literally, think about, for example, Hillary Clinton in Chipotle, wherever it was she went, ordering her taco, whatever the fuck she got that surprisingly somehow did not kill her. I mean, people are getting salmonella and shit from Chipotle, but she doesn't. That's fine. Whatever. Good for her.
Conspiracy. I
But
call it conspiracy.
yeah, it's definitely a conspiracy. But anyway, that's what it's like. They just walk in and and they give some stupid soundbite, type statement, and they pat someone on the back, shake someone's hands, and they're fucking gone. They're gone because they have so many places they have to be. Okay, so they're all going to Pizza Ranch. They're all eating, like bites of this some local ice cream. I don't know the name of it, but anyway, that leads me to Mike Huckabee's thing over the weekend. It's a version of Adele's "Hello," and it's like, "Hello, Sioux City," and it is so bad. It's so bad. Oh my god!
Wait.
Like
Was it like the weird Trump theme song, or was it worse? Or better?
the weird Trump theme song is arguably better. Yeah, like it sounds strange to think about it, but it's arguably more.
What has happened to Mike Huckabee? I at least kind of liked the man before.
See, okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I do like him. I actually like Mike Huckabee. He's former governor of Arkansas. It's like one state up into to the right of him, or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, um, and I don't think he's that bad of a person. I really don't, deep down think he's a bad person. Um,
He seems like a genuinely nice guy when he's
he
talking,
he really does. He
but
really
he's
does.
just gone
He,
crazy.
I mean, like
He's gone crazy.
he's even willing to go on and talk to Bill Maher. He'll talk to anyone that he doesn't like because he's just that kind of person. He's generally a nice guy, but he has some stupid ideas. And really, I can see, the staff meeting. He walks in and it's like, look, we have to reach, people. What do young people like today? And they're like, Adele, hello. So they write this stupid song, and it is so like it's like the chorus line is, "Hello, Iowa caucus night. If Bernie wins, I'm gonna die." And it's like, oh my god, you seriously, like it's so bad. It's so like it's almost like Tommy Wiseau's The Room, you know, you watch it and you just have to rewatch it over and over and over again. It's so bad. I mean, this man is not going to win, and I feel bad for him. But this is just insane. It's insane. But back to what I was going to say about Carly Fiorina. She was doing one of these stops, and she goes to a botanical garden, and there's a kindergarten class that is there, and the kindergarten class is going to be walking. They're like 5 and 6 years old. They have no concept of what the fuck's going on. Okay, so they're walking around and they're looking at flowers and plants and everything. And all of a sudden here comes Miss Fiorina, and one of the parents that later found out about it, like their kid actually told them what was going on. Of course, the teacher calls the school, and the school automatically scrambles people to call the parents to let them know what's going on. Because the parents might not want their kids there. Um, but all the parents were fine. Because the rationale was, it's a chance for my kid to be seen with a presidential candidate. That is not bad. It's really not bad when you think about it. Okay, but the
Sure.
reason, but the reason she was there, it's like me. I am not an Obama supporter, but I would like to meet the man. Hell, I would even have a beer with President Obama. Like I would like to be close to someone like that. Just because I think that would be cool. Okay, same
I
reason.
mean,
Okay,
he's the president. Whether you agree with
exactly,
him or not, he's
exactly,
the president.
exactly. So anyway, the reason she was having this meeting at the botanical garden was it was an anti-abortion rally. So she just herds these little kids over to, this giant thing of a fetus hanging behind her and all this, abortion is bad shit. And does her press conference. And in the end of it, oh my god, this is so fucked up. In the end of it, they, they actually give the kids these little plastic fetuses and sent them home with this shit. So the parents are like I read an interview with a dad and he was talking about this. And he's like, now I have to explain to my 6-year-old son what his new favorite toy actually is. It's like I have to. It's a very complicated thing. Do I, exactly how do I explain, the idea that we're killing children and then we're ripping body parts out of adults? Like, how the fuck do I explain this to my child? Because that was all she was talking about. Was like, the tearing the body parts out, and it's brutal. It's like you have a bunch of children here listening to this,
God.
and see, like honestly, I really hope this is not these kids' first. See, okay, a while back, I forget whose show
I,
it was on YouTube.
I can imagine some of them are just traumatized for the rest of their life now.
I really hope I'm like, okay. There was a fun conversation that was going on in someone's video like last week that I don't remember who it was. Anyway, here on YouTube. But anyway, they were talking about the moment they first became aware, like aware they're a person and aware they're around them, and essentially their first actual memory. Okay, um, that tends to happen, between say the ages of 2, 3s, somewhere around there between 5. Like your first actual memories start forming where you remember being a certain place, a certain time, and doing certain things. Okay, like I
Yeah, I
remember,
think my first memory was 3 years old. And I
I
think it was my birthday party, and I was in the apartment complex park, and we were celebrating it.
the first one I remember is being in. Well, first off, being on my front porch. My brother was sitting on the railing we used to have out there, and I walked inside and was in the kitchen. I do not know how old I was, um, but it's somewhere around the same time. Now I had seen pictures of this mess that I made, but evidently I woke up at one point in time when I was little. My mom was taking a nap. I was taking a nap. I woke up, and I remember distinctly getting a tube of toothpaste out of the master bathroom, and squirting it all the way down the hall, and then making a big mess. I remember that. I really remember that. I was probably 2 or 3 years old, but this memory of me walking around the house is about the same age, okay? So I for sure have memories of me in kindergarten. Uh, but
I like
it's
how my first memory is of a birthday party, and your first memory is of making a giant mess.
well,
I feel like
it's the
that's a
first two.
great example of our personalities on
Those
the
are
show.
those are the first two that I'm really aware of. Like I'm sure there are others, and if I sit here and thought about it, I'd remember more.
But
But
I feel like that's a great representation of us on this show.
fuck off. But say like what's messed up. What is genuinely messed up is that this is going to be among these kids' first potential memories. Like, they're old enough to remember, you know, going here and doing this. Like I can for sure remember a lot of things from kindergarten. And these kids are probably going to remember this. And they're going to grow up there and be like, what the fuck was going on? Where was my mom? But apparently Carly Fiorina is so like, according to all these kids, apparently she is just a likable person. Like you see her and you're just kind of drawn to her, and I'm like, that's that's creepy. It's creepy to think about, that she's just like this woman. You just kind of want to go with her. It's like, oh, Carly Fiorina could probably take all these kids off and murder them. What that was the vibe that I got from them.
That explains how she ruined a multi-million-dollar company,
Well,
and no
apparently,
one stopped her.
see, come to find out, there is a actual big secret there, and I wish that I had like a graphic I could put up for this. Apparently, while she was over HP, she made a deal with Iran, which you're not supposed to do at this point in time, and as a result, something like 47%, I think it is, of all the printers in the country are currently Hewlett Packard.
Huh. That's
It may be more
interesting.
than
Also, why isn't she being prosecuted?
I don't know. I mean, it's like she's no longer with the company, so what? But yeah, apparently it was just some uh underhanded, like back, behind the back type deal that she made with Iran. Whatever, that's fine. I don't give a shit. Whatever. Fucking traitor, I guess.
Uh,
But yeah,
I kind of do. I kind of do. How is she running for president?
because she's Republican and because she's ran a company, and I guess she has a beautiful smile and whatever.
Well,
I don't know.
luckily she only has 2.1% of the vote, according to this
Oh,
poll.
is it really that high now? Is it that high?
It's actually down from earlier.
Oh, poor Carly. I mean, see, I probably would have voted for her had she not just stood up on the stage and done the talking point thing. You know what I mean?
I don't trust people that bankrupt multi-million dollar companies either.
Oh, you mean you don't
Maybe
trust
that's
Donald
just
Trump?
me. No, I don't.
What? How could you possibly not trust Donald Trump?
I if I were to vote for any of the Republican candidates that are currently available, it probably had to be Cruz or Rubio right now. Everyone else is either terrible or bad, or maybe Rand Paul too, maybe.
I would
Everyone else is terrible or bad.
I would vote for Rand Paul. Like, I have given him shit before and called him Wile E. Coyote standing there with a sign saying what my dad says.
I still like his father far more than him.
I do like his dad, but I also like Rand Paul. Now, see, Rand Paul has said some crazy things, but I think of all the current, like the top runners for the Republican president candidate, I think that he is probably the most sane one. He's the one I would rather see. But that's because I do have a lot of libertarian, you know, idea. Like I agree a lot with the libertarian stance. Like I like the idea of, well, okay. Here's the thing. Libertarians are really in favor of a smaller government. And essentially the government, being less involved in your life. That's a good idea. The problem is we're not going to have a smaller government. We just need to have a more focused government. We need to have a government that works better for the people. Like that's really the only disagreement I have with that primary libertarian mindset. But I do think that he's probably the better. Really, he's the best option the Republicans have. But he doesn't seem to get the face time that he actually needs to get because you have Trump and Cruz and everyone else that just talk around him. And if you look at the debate last week, which by the way there's another one this week and then another one next week. Holy shit, there's so many of these things to keep track of. Um, if you look at the debate last week, everyone that was on there on the stage is actually doing better because they were not having to compete with Donald Trump. The problem with Trump is that him not being on there actually managed to get him even more support because it was essentially him saying, look, these debates are nothing without me. No one's going to watch them unless I'm on there. So I'm going to go talk and I'm going to go do my own thing. And yeah, give the man some fucking credit. It actually worked in his favor. I mean, see, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
I,
For as much shit as I give Trump, for as much as I can't stand him, he's really a good businessman. He's really good at playing this game. He's really, really good. Like I said, it's frighteningly good.
yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Trump is a very smart man. I've never said he was stupid. He's not stupid by any means. He is incredibly smart, and he is playing, and he is playing Republican voters like a fiddle. That is exactly what he is doing. I'm not even really sure what his real intentions are if he is to become president, or if he's just screwing with Republicans at this point. I just know he's playing them like a fiddle.
See, okay, here's the thing. Trump is not really a Republican. I mean, he's very, very, very much a Democrat. And if you look back at the
He
history,
voted Democrat for years,
he
decades.
still does. He still hangs out for as much shit as he talks about the Clintons. He still hangs out with them. Like there's a lot of pictures of them together, and trying to get people to understand, he's actually a Clinton supporter. He's going to be like Trump is essentially what you're going to get in Hillary. It's just a male versus female version. That's the only difference. That's
I'm
really it.
still not. I'm still wondering if he is trying to sabotage the Republican race. This is a legitimate question to me.
I kind of think he is. But since we're going to talk about races, I think it's probably a good idea to actually get to our main topic for the day. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
wait. Before we get into that, did you hear what the Republican Congress has decided to bitch about now?
Nope.
Okay. So you remember the debt ceiling crisis, right?
You mean the one that we're
The
still
variety of
technically having?
ones, all of them. Well, I guess
Uh,
the last one in particular. I don't know.
the one we're still pretty much going to be going through every year now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So apparently the GOP uh decided to run one of their little inquiries again because yeah, why not, right?
Sure. Why not waste
So
taxpayer money? We'll get it back.
yeah. The House Financial Services Committee, right?
Yep.
So they investigated the debt crisis and now they're really pissed off. Can you guess why?
Let me guess. Because the Republicans actually cost the American taxpayers more money than they thought.
No. Try again.
They cost the American taxpayers less than they thought.
No. One more try.
Um, Everything stayed exactly the same.
No, you're still wrong.
What?
Okay, so here's what happened. During the debt crisis, do you remember Republicans talking about trying to prioritize payments
Yeah.
for the government? And the
Yep.
Obama administration said you were crazy and that's impractical?
Yes.
Okay, so apparently they investigated, and Obama, or rather the Treasury, was exploring if it could actually do that while Obama was telling them that this is a terrible idea and we should not be trying to do this. And they're accusing Obama of lying about what the options were.
Okay.
Yeah, and now they're raising a huge fuss about it.
I don't know how that works, but okay.
So, 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 let me break this down for just anyone listening. So, if you're the Treasury Department, you have Congress acting like idiots, and you know, you're facing the unthinkable crisis of not being able to pay off your debt. Um, what are you going to do? You're going to explore every possible option, whether it would actually work or not. And this would still be a terrible thing to do if they tried to do it, because even delaying payments is a terrible, terrible thing to do. for your credit. Don't ever try to delay payments. Don't ever delay payments on your credit card bills. Don't ever delay payments on your mortgage or your phone bills or electric bills, if you can help it, of course. I understand people don't have a lot of money today, but if you have the money available, don't delay, because it will ruin your credit. Just like even the threat of us doing this ruined the credit of America. So, yeah, that happened.
But why would you say such things, Nix? Are are you anti-American?
No, I'm a person that has a business degree.
Well, so is Carly Fiorina, and so does Donald Trump. Are you going to
And
say
they
that
both
are
bankrupted companies.
are what are you talking about? They've never bankrupted anything. Are you silly? Those were good business decisions.
No, no, they were not. Alright.
Act, act, act,
So that was just to
actually,
add on to the pile of bullshit that we've been talking about today. Oh crap, we didn't even talk about the Flying Brothers yet.
oh, that's true. We didn't talk. Okay, okay, we'll give them a few minutes. Okay, for those of you who do not know what's going on, apparently the Fine Brothers have made an announcement that they want to trademark the word react, and along with that goes, of course, reaction. Like reaction videos to, to like, for example, we've done, like essentially reaction videos to announcements for World of Warcraft. Uh, there was a couple times where Nick was not on for this, but I did like reaction videos to season premieres of TV shows or whatever. I did one for Terminator. Stuff like that. Okay. I didn't put the term reaction or react in there. But what the Fine Brothers are doing now, okay. First off, for those of you who don't know who the Fine Brothers are, they're one of the most popular YouTube channels that there is. They're right up there with PewDiePie and everyone else who are earning literal $1 million off their YouTube video. They're a couple of the handful of people who got involved in YouTube Red. Okay, YouTube Red, being the pay service. Okay, the Fine Brothers are so popular that it has led them to have a TV show. I don't know what channel it's going to be on. I don't really care. I'm not going to watch it. But their videos are essentially, like they have children react to, and it's all stuff from like the 90s or older. Stuff before these kids are even alive. And they have elders react to, which is, like stuff that kids do now, whatever. It's actually a cute concept, and I've enjoyed their videos. They've been doing it for a long time. What they're wanting to do is they're wanting to trademark this and essentially say that you're allowed to use it, but if you use the term react or reaction in your video or video description, they will be making money off of you. Your videos will automatically be considered part of their trademark, so they're making money off of you. But oh, look, you're going to be allowed to use it, and you'll be able to make money. No, it will put a copyright strike on your video. They'll be able to issue a takedown order of your video and take it down. Mark Dice actually described this as an Orwellian scheme in which it will lead to censorship, and there's concern. I cannot remember who did it. I cannot remember who did it. I'm gonna have to look him up in a second. But there's another YouTuber, another very popular YouTuber, who does uh, Nostalgia Critic. That's it, Nostalgia Critic. His videos, he has not been able to make anything for 2 months now because he's been getting copyright notices on everything because he used certain terms or because he referenced TV shows. Now his whole channel is based, his whole series is based on talking about stuff like we talk about, comics and movies, stuff like that, talking about uh, you know, and critiquing it as an adult. Okay, but he's been getting takedown notices issued. This same basic thing will happen. Let's say, he does a reaction video. Well, that video gets a notice. If we do one, that video gets a notice, and it's strange. And Mark Dice actually mentioned uh, that a reaction is more of a concept rather than an actual thing. So you can't really trademark it's trademarking an idea, okay? And everyone has a reaction to something, okay? It's just a human nature type thing. It's something we all do. They're basically trying to trademark something that everyone on the planet, all throughout history, has ever done. Okay, and I'll say it right now. It's bullshit. They currently have something like 12 million subscribers, and they're losing handfuls over handful of subscribers since they announced this. And every video personally went and looked at has got 25,000 or more dislikes because people are just going through their videos and disliking and unsubscribing. Did I describe it succinctly
So,
enough for you?
yeah, yeah. So basically, hey, nostalgia critic, we love you. In case you ever listen to this. Fuck you, fine bros, and let's get to the real bullshit today. The
Oh,
possibility of
okay.
not electing Bernie Sanders.
Well, no, okay. Well, see, first off, we have to play bingo with this, okay? But yeah, what we're going to do today is we're going to play Iowa Caucus Bingo. Now, okay. The absolute first thing is we want to describe, to what the Iowa caucuses are. Okay. Basically, if you've ever read Alice in Wonderland and you remember the dodo, the caucus is what he was doing, okay? It's essentially where you come together and you're supposed to divide up and you're supposed to, okay. Okay.
I think you're
This
making people more confused at this point.
it fucking confuses me. Okay. Here's the thing. First off, Iowa is the first state in the nation to actually cast votes for president. Okay, absolute first in the nation to do this. The reason why is because they have a state law that says that they have to be the first. So if Texas or Rhode Island or Maryland or anywhere else, passes a law says that they're going to have an election on, say, excuse me, January 31st, Iowa will come back and will automatically precede them. Like it's a state law. It's a dumb state law. But it has led. Sorry, Iowa, you done fucked up. Anyway, um,
I like how you said Maryland instead of Maryland.
whatever. Anyway, shut up. Okay. Um, the caucuses essentially are people come out to vote. Okay. They've traditionally had no more than 150,000 people in the entire state. Okay. Iowa is a very low demographic area. By low demographic, I mean they're almost the majority white. Iowa actually has a higher percentage of white people in the state than the United States is like something like 77% white. Iowa is like 85 or 90% white. Okay, it's very difficult to actually predict demographics among anyone other than white people in Iowa. Now, I'm not saying this is a racist idea. It's just a fact. Iowans are majority white. That's a fact.
Also, it's a bit more than that because when you say 77% of Americans are white, that's discounting who's Hispanic and who isn't Hispanic, or that's, a more proper term. Um, so actually, because there's not a large Latino population in Iowa either, they're even more white than those demographics say.
Yes, yes, they are. It's kind of strange to think about it. Okay, but anyway, what I was saying is, um, again, this is not some racial thing, okay? But the fact is, historically, there, like the past several elections, you can look this for sure. There are actually more Democrats in Iowa than Republicans. Now, you may think, well, Iowa is it's a rural state, that they're a rural evangelical state. Why are they not more Republican? I don't know. It's weird to think about this. But going back, several elections, you can look at this. The Democrats tend to have more people who show up at the caucuses. Okay, and this is something that's actually true nationwide. If Democrats get out to vote, Republicans will not ever win. Okay, there are simply more people in the country who are willing to vote Democrat for any election at all than there are Republicans, and I say this as a Republican. I am until uh, our election here in Texas in March, like March 5th or something like that. I am actually tied statewide to the Democratic Party. I cannot vote Republican because I signed a petition for a Democratic candidate for Congress. Okay, it's the woman I work for. I signed her
And
petition,
and well, I just wanted to point out one of the things about America is that if you look at our demographics, our people, more people would be willing to vote Democrat than Republican. However, traditionally, more voters are Republican than Democratic.
that's right.
So it's kind of an odd aspect to the party is that when Democrats are motivated to go out and vote, they tend to dominate the elections. But when they're not motivated to come out and vote, Republicans tend to dominate the elections.
Actually, it's almost a guaranteed fact that if uh, I think there's 2 or 3 times as many Democrats or Democratic leaning voters in the country nationwide as there are Republican leaning voters. And if those people do not get out and vote, the Republicans don't have to. I mean, so here's the thing. Like I said, I'm a Republican. I know I don't talk like one most of the time, but that's because I am more of a progressive leaning Republican. Okay. Uh, I just don't feel calling myself a Democrat is a good thing. That's my personal preference. It has nothing to do with the party. I like every Democrat I've ever met. Okay, I've never been really overly terrified of some Democrats. There are some Republicans who scare the shit out of me, though. Okay, but I still
Fear
call
the
myself.
liberals.
Do what?
Fear my liberal agenda.
Pretty much. I mean, it's just how I am. Like I said, I'm a more progressive Republican. I view myself in the same line as Lincoln, Teddy Roosevelt, and Eisenhower. Okay, that same general, and Nixon, and even though he was a Democrat, Johnson. Like basically every president before Kennedy, I probably agree with him. Well, I'm not Kennedy, Reagan. I'm sorry, Reagan. Uh, anyway, what I'm getting at is that um, historically there have always been more Democrats getting out to vote in Iowa. Okay, they had some of the highest turnouts in 2008 and 2012 for Obama and Hillary. Okay, and most of that is attributed because it was the fact they were going to get to cast the first vote for surprise a woman or a black man. Okay, like it's absolutely no secret that that was what was going on. We all know that was actually what helped get Obama the popular vote.
It would be
Is
cool.
Yes, because it was the chance to vote for a black man for president. It was the first time ever. Okay, I actually know people that was why they voted for him. They didn't agree with him. They don't like him. But it was the chance to cast a vote in favor of him being the first. Like it was just a moment to be part of history. I didn't do that. I'm sorry, I didn't do that. Okay. Uh, I think it's wonderful
Yeah.
that we've had a black man for president, but I am not. I'm not someone who's going to go out and vote for someone because you're black, because you're a woman, because you're fat, because you have long hair, or like whatever the fuck you want to talk about. Like whatever reason you want to have. I want to vote for you based on the issues, and that's why I am currently a staff member for a Democrat. That's why I signed her petition, to help her be able to run without having to pay an enormous fee in the state of Texas. And that's why I'm willing to be tied to the Democratic Party until March, whatever. After our primary is over, I'm free to do whatever the fuck I want to, and I'm fine with that. That works for me because I listen to her and I agree with her, and that's how you should vote. You should be a well-informed voter. But the idea behind the caucuses is that people will gather, by party. There will be Democrats and Republicans in different places, and they'll gather, and they essentially divide up into camps. Okay, like that's really all that's going to happen, and they're going to cast their ballots. So the idea is that they will take a vote among themselves over who they want to support. There's a large group of people who will remain undecided, and they will not group with everyone else. So you will not have, people that are standing here and here and here and here with, let's say Bernie and Hillary and Trump and Cruz, whatever. But there will be people who will just stand off on their own because they're not going to take a side. But the problem is that the ones who do not get enough support in the caucuses either have to become undecided or they have to go divide up to someone else, whoever they want to vote. The whole, the entire purpose for this is to get 15% to be considered a viable candidate. Okay, so you have to have 15% of the entire voters that show up that make you viable, and whoever it is out of that percentage, whichever one gets the 15%. So, for example, let's say Bernie and Hillary and Trump and Cruz each get 15%. That's like 40. That's like something like 45%, I think. Whatever it is, like essentially half the voters that show up, uh, are in favor of them. Okay, those four are very likely to get the nomination. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to play a game out of this. We are going to play
Well,
Iowa
wait.
Caucus's bingo.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Aren't the Democratic caucus and the Republican caucus separate? So,
Yes, they are separate.
okay, so if I'm an Iowa voter, I'm either going to the Republican caucus or the Democratic caucus, right?
Yes.
So, and they need 15% of whichever caucus they're going to, right?
Yes.
Okay. So really, it's not that if you took Trump, Hillary, Cruz, and Bernie, which that's 30% of the voters for each caucus gone. So there's 70% left for the other people up for grabs.
It's confusing as shit, isn't it?
No, because I'm a math person.
Okay.
But
Essentially.
for other people, yeah. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'll explain it again as
No, no,
simply as I can.
I got it, I got it, I got it.
Hang
So
on. Hang on.
basically,
Hang on.
wait. So basically, you need to win 15% of your caucus in order to be considered a viable candidate.
Yes.
Okay, now this isn't as big of a deal in the Democratic race, as far as we know, because there's only real two viable candidates right now. There's Bernie and Hillary, right?
Yes. Okay. So, okay, those of you who are playing along, we have on screen right now. You can see this. We have the three Democrats, and now here's the thing: this is not every Republican candidate that's on here. Okay, there are some of them who we know, for example, Mike Huckabee and Carly Fiorina, are not going to ever get 15%. So the names we're playing with here, and we're going to be looking at poll numbers. And if you're watching this live right now, you're welcome to comment. You're welcome to message us on Facebook, whatever. But what we're going to do is we're going to go through all the candidates. So we have for the Democrats, Hillary Clinton, Martin O'Malley, and Bernie Sanders. Okay, at the top. And the next row for Republicans is going to be Ted Cruz, uh, Rand Paul,
All right.
Kasich,
All right.
Bush, and then we're going to have Christie, Trump, Carson, and uh, Rubio. So what we're going to do for our bingo, while we go through the statistics and talk about who has the most chance to win, is we're going to play bingo with this. So Martin O'Malley is currently polling at something like 3%. Hillary is, I think, 48. Bernie is 45, somewhere around there. So O'Malley is clearly not going to win. So O'Malley automatically gets an X over his face. Sorry, Martin, but your 3% is left to be undecided as far as I'm concerned.
Thank God.
So we're going to leave Bernie and Hillary up there by themselves. So if you're playing along at home, you get to mark out O'Malley. Okay. Now the idea behind this is Nick and I are going to, like I said, we're going to talk this out rationally. Okay. And whoever we think's likely to get a nomination, they're going to get a nice check mark over their face. So if you're playing along at home, we're going to do something interesting here. Like I'm going to go into this right now. I'm going to go ahead and give Bernie a check mark, and I'm going to give Hillary a check mark. So those two we know are likely to get 15%. Now, which one of those is going to be the winner? They're essentially 50-50, okay? It's like flipping a coin. Like you have an equal chance of heads or tails in this, okay? So that's it for Democrats.
I would say it largely depends on how many Democrats come out to vote. I think the more Democrats that come out to vote, the more that will come out to vote for Bernie.
Well, currently, if unless I'm mistaken, Hillary is actually in the lead in Iowa right now.
Well, yes, but remember that those polls are based on likely voters, which is why Obama beat her soundly in 2008, was because those polls weren't counting on the young voters coming out in the droves that they did. And this could be a repeat scenario with Bernie Sanders if
It
he's
really could be.
available to motivate them.
I'm gonna go ahead and give one more check mark just to go ahead and get this over with because we all know, like Nick and I are not dumb, and I don't think anyone else is dumb. But we do know that Donald Trump is going to get 15% in Iowa. Okay, like he's polling
Oh
something
yeah,
like what was it? Last time I looked, he was polling at
I think it's around 31%.
yeah 30 to 31%. So there is no way in hell that Trump is going to walk out of this less than 50%. Okay, so we have Hillary and Bernie essentially 50-50. So they're both check marked right now, and we have Trump a check mark. So that means the only candidates we really have to play around with, looking at the poll numbers, is Cruz, Paul, Kasich, Bush, Christie, Carson, and Rubio. So
Um,
let's play a game here. Let's play a game
well,
here. By the most recent statistics we can find, they have to be polling at, let's just say 15%. You want to do that? 15%? Will that work?
yeah, but that only gives us two candidates from what I'm seeing.
Oh, who is that going to be then?
That would be Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio. They're the only ones polling above 15%, at least from what the Huffington Post is telling me. Although they're averaging out every numbers, but yeah, I don't see anyone above 10% outside of those two.
Okay,
Not
so
even
that
15. I
means
don't see anyone above 10.
if you're playing along at home right now, you should have points for Hillary, Bernie, Cruz, Trump, and Rubio, right?
Yep. And here is where the interesting part about the Republican race is. There are so many candidates that it's splitting the vote so much that they might not be able to have a fourth person.
Okay, so let's say, okay, since no one else is polling at 10%, let's say, is anyone at 9%?
Nope.
Anyone at 8%?
Carson is at 8%.
So Carson's at 8%. Okay, so we'll play devil. Okay,
That's
okay, okay, okay.
that's far away from 15.
Hang on. How's this? Is anyone at 5% or higher?
Only Carson.
Okay, so we'll be fair here and we'll say that Ben Carson will be the fourth win. So that means, again, if you're playing along at home, this is going to take a second to do this. This is a whole new system we're doing here. So that means that Chris Christie gets an X. That means that Kasich gets an X. That means that Bush gets an X. And where'd he go? There we go. There's Rand Paul. Okay. And Rand Paul, sadly, my buddy, gets an X. So that means we're going to have two Democrats, four Republicans on, that's who we think is likely to be it. Right?
Um, well, here's the question. Um, I'm not even sure that Carson will have enough votes to be number four. Because if I'm looking at this right now, Trump has about 30, Cruz has about 24, Rubio has around 17. That's about 71% of the vote.
Okay.
So
Okay. Nick,
Carson is going to have to win over half of the rest of the vote.
okay. So let's play. Okay. Let's make this even more complicated here, okay? Um, let's look at the percentages that Paul, Kasich, Bush, and Christie have. And I guess add them up and divide them evenly. Is that going to make Ben Carson any closer to a win?
Let's see. Paul is running about 4%. Huckabee is running about 3%. Kasich's running about 3%. Christie's running about 2%.
We're okay. We're only going with Christie, Paul, Kasich, and Bush.
Christie, Kasich, Paul, and Bush.
Yes, just
That's
just just
four,
just out of
eight.
just out of fairness, because we already know that everyone else is not going to win.
That's about 13. That would push Ben up to about 21. 20, 21.
No, that has to be divided between the four others evenly.
Oh, between the four others?
Yes.
Oh, let's see. Well, that 4, 8, what did I say? 13 divided by 4, which would be about 2.5. That's still not enough for Carson.
So I suppose it's probably fair to go ahead and knock out Ben Carson for this.
Yeah, oddly enough, there's only 3 real Republican candidates right now. Unless someone has some kind of miracle today in Iowa and just rallies really strongly. There's only really free Republican candidates right now.
Okay, so
Also, what will be really interesting is when all the other candidates are knocked out, how will those votes divide among Trump, Cruz, and Rubio? That's going to be the bigger question.
okay, okay, let's play. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna go ahead and take all the markers off of Cruz. I'm sorry, Trump. The reason I want to take them all entirely off is because we know that he's likely to come out as a winner for this. Okay, so he's going to have essentially a 50-50 shot here. Okay, well,
Hmm.
no, I'm sorry. He's polling at least 30%, so we know that he's likely to be in the lead. Okay, so Trump's face gets to stay uncovered. So if you have markers on him, sorry, you lose him. Okay, so Trump is good. Uh, and you know what? We can probably do that for Hillary and Bernie as well. Don't you think?
Yeah, they they easily should place or be viable candidates easily. Cruz should also be easily placed with 15%. Rubio's actually the one at risk.
Okay, so let's take what he has. Rubio, and let's just say he doesn't manage to get 15%, which is let's see. Right now he is at what? He's 70%.
He's
So
at
okay,
17.4, according to what I have.
okay. Well, since Cruz and Trump are both at 20%, let's just divide uh, Rubio's up and get rid of him. Okay, so we'll divide it up and make it even. So that's going to be like 8.5% for each of them, something like that, isn't it?
Yeah,
So that would mean Donald Trump would be about 40% and Cruz would be 30, 35.
around 30, yeah, around 30, 30, 32.
Okay, so that means we're going to have like roughly 70% of the vote for either one of them, give or take.
Yeah, it seems like it. Among Republicans, it seems around 70.
Okay, so that means we're going to have a full 30% left for anyone else. Now, we know everyone else. Okay, this is where it gets to be a gamble here, okay? I feel very safe saying that if we have, okay, Cruz and Trump are guaranteed to win. They're both Trump will win. Will get votes because he's Trump. Uh, but the problem is that he does say some things that Iowans don't like. So he's probably going to go down a little bit. Okay, to be realistic, he's probably going to go down a little bit, but that's fine. But he's the party front runner, so people are already getting ready to support him. Really the one to look out for here, I think, is definitely going to be Cruz, not Rubio. I would say Rubio, but more likely Cruz because he appeals to evangelical voters. So uh, I feel pretty comfortable saying that we can probably mark out Rubio for this.
Yeah, I mean, Rubio might, if Cruz has a really strong showing and Trump keeps his base support going, which is primarily Tea Party voters, and they are very, very loyal, so I don't see them swaying. Um, Cruz could take enough votes away from Rubio that he does not place with 15%.
Okay, so now we have to pick who's going to get to be uh, the one Iowans support the most. So we have, like in what, like maybe 5 minutes, stripped away O'Malley, Paul, Kasich, Bush, Christie, Carson, and even Marco Rubio. So we're playing with four candidates here. Which, if you look back at the past things, there's always a one, two, and everyone always looks at one, two, and three. Okay. In Iowa, the past several years, number one was of course Obama. Number two was well, one year. Okay, we'll go with 2012 probably. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, that was number one was of course Obama. Number two was um, oh boy, what's his name?
Uh, I'm drawing a blank too.
I can see
It's
anyway.
it, it's what's his name? That's who it was.
Mr. Fantastic, we'll call him that, because he looks like him. Okay, um, him, and then Hillary was third. But Hillary this time does not have anyone who can possibly beat her among Democratic voters or the state. Really, I mean, she's very, very popular, and she is polling ahead of Bernie. So if they're essentially running 50-50, they're both an equal shot here, I think.
I think Bernie is going to win. I think people are really excited for this election. Um, and I think Bernie is better with the younger voters, the voters that traditionally don't vote. And the more people that come out to vote, I think the more people that will vote for Bernie.
You know what? I agree with you. I'm going to
Also,
give that final, that mythical
although
3%.
isn't there supposed to be a storm in Iowa right now, actually?
I am not sure.
I believe there's actually a storm going on right now.
Oh well. Okay. You know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to give that mythical 3%, the part that we have from O'Malley. I'm going to go ahead and give that to Bernie. So that way they are dead. For me, they're dead even at 50-50. Okay. Um,
I'm actually not sure if that's a good idea. I think O'Malley's voters actually traditionally would vote more for Hillary.
no, he has attacked her for a lot of the same reasons that Bernie has, especially for her ties to the banks.
True.
So I'm going to give his 3% to Bernie. And do I have a quarter? I'm gonna actually, you know what? I'm actually gonna flip a coin. I'm gonna actually flip a coin. Nick, you get to call it, by the way.
I'm going to call tails.
So tails will be Bernie.
Yes.
Okay. You know what? Just to be fair, we'll go 2 out of 3. How's that?
Sure.
Okay, flipping it first time. Well, it would help if I wouldn't drop it. Okay, heads,
Alright, so that's one for Hillary.
tails,
That's one for Bernie.
and I just dropped it again, but it landed on tails. So we're gonna give this shit to Bernie. We're gonna say Bernie will win Iowa, even though right now the polling numbers are showing Clinton being ahead. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark Hillary out because I genuinely think Iowans are feeling the burn. I really do. So our prediction is going to be Bernie will win the Iowa caucus for the Democrats. Okay, so that leaves for the Republicans Cruz and Trump.
I'm gonna go with Trump here. I think as long as the other voters are split among the numerous Republican candidates, I don't think anyone can beat Trump until the party whittles down, or the candidates whittle down some.
So you want to do coin flips between those two, or
Um,
okay? Well, so here's the thing: we did one for the Democrats, so it's fair to do it for these two, because we're just dealing with two candidates here. Even though I
might
really
as well
want
have some fun with it.
I really do. I actually do agree with you. I do think that it's going to be Trump. I honestly do, because numbers don't lie. I mean, there would have to be a huge number of people to turn out and vote for support any other Republican than him to be able to dislodge him just from Iowa.
Yeah, I mean, as long as he has the Tea Party supporters, and as long as the other Republicans are split, because there's just so many candidates splitting the vote right now. Tea Party is not a majority of the Republican voters, but they are the largest block of voters that are there. So until the other candidates' numbers lessen, I think Trump holds a commanding lead.
Okay, so just to be fair, we'll
But just for
do
fun,
yeah, we'll do 2 out of 3. So, um, Nick, what do you think this time?
I'm calling heads for Trump just because of his hair, just
Okay,
because
let's
of
just see. Head, head. Oh, fuck it. Okay, there we go. Coined left this shit up to percentage chance here. So we're gonna go ahead and mark out Ted Cruz.
Also, I'm apparently great at calling coin flips.
Yes, you are. So this is our official prediction. Trump and Bernie for Iowa. I guess we'll find out here in a few hours whether we are right or wrong.
Yeah, it's kind of exciting. Hope
It is.
time or we'll
Now
finally
see, like,
see what.
the only real problem is that we are, of course, published. This will be posted to YouTube around the time that this shit's ending. So it's going to be interesting. Yeah, like, but by the time it gets edited and posted and everything, the caucuses will be ending. But it's going to be interesting because we just predict Trump and Bernie are going to come out on top. So I guess we'll find out for sure.
Yeah, and I guess it's the start of the presidential season, so happy presidential season, everybody.
Rabbit season, duck season, rabbit season, duck. Oh wait, better yet, I mean Trump season, Bernie season, Trump season, Bernie season. Ah,
I could see that. I could see Bernie Sanders being Bugs Bunny.
yeah, he could be. He could be actually, yeah. But yeah, that's gonna be our predictions. Is that it'll be Trump and Bernie. So we'll find out in a couple hours.
All right. Uh, everybody have a great day.
Yep, and thank you, Iowa, for being the sacrificial lamb for our nation. We certainly appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you, Iowa, indeed. Uh, I, hmm.
So yeah,
I,
well,
I
okay.
I wonder how New Hampshire is going to be.
Uh, poll numbers currently have Bernie in the lead there, so we'll find out pretty soon. But yeah, like I said,
Also, Trump is crushing New Hampshire.
yep. Okay. Like I said, there's another debate this week. Okay. I don't know if we're going to do Power Rangers this Friday or not. There's a lot of stuff that I have going on myself. And like I said, I think on last Friday I wanted to wait to the Power Ranger show until I had finished the Zordon era. So that's I am almost done with Power Rangers Turbo. And there's like 40 episodes or so of Power Rangers in space, so I have to finish that. But Brandon does
Well,
want to be back on. I'm
well,
gonna let him
hurry
know.
up, because I want to rant about Hasbro and
I am
yeah.
I am for sure wanting to get him on again soon, and he said that his Fridays are mostly free, so he may be a more uh um returning guest more often. But we do have someone else who contacted me and said they wanted to be on the show. It's a complete surprise here. I'm not gonna tell you who it is. But uh, we'll find. We'll most likely announce on the Facebook page between then and now who we're gonna have on it. We're gonna talk about. So just look forward to that. And yeah, uh, we'll talk to all of you Wednesday.
Yep. Have a great week, everybody.
Did you just say weekend or week?
Week. I said week.
Oh, for some reason I heard weekend. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, yeah. Have a
Well,
great Monday,
it's just
everybody.
because I always say weekend, because it's the Friday show.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, have a great night, everybody. Again, thank you to Iowa. Thank you to Nick for being on, and thank you for putting up with us. And remember to like the video, comment, share, subscribe, like us on Facebook. Tell us what you want to hear. If you if you want to be a guest, let us know. We actually like having guests. We like doing interviews. Um, so yeah, we'll find out who's gonna win.
Goodbye, everybody.
Yep. Bye, everybody.